Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Hornby. I'm just going to go through the diagram of the cross section of the leaf with you. If you imagine you had a leaf like this, and some of you drew me some fantastic leaves showing me the veins and the midrib and the edge. What I want you to imagine is that you have actually cut that leaf in half, and now you're looking down the thin bit of the leaf. Rather than looking along the flat bit of the leaf, you're looking inside the cells and seeing how they're arranged. So we start off with the top of the leaf having a waxy cuticle. Now, this waxy cuticle, it's just a thin layer of wax, and it's made by the cells underneath, and it has two jobs. It's protective for the leaf, but it also stops water loss. So I'm just going to add those details. So its jobs are to protect and to stop water loss. Okay. Underneath the waxy cuticle then, we have a layer of cells called the upper epidermis. And these plant cells, which have vacuoles and cell walls and nucleus and things like that, but they are a bit different in that they are transparent. And that means that the light can get through them. So the light, if you think about it, the sunlight is going to be coming down onto the top of the leaf. The sunlight. And these lovely epidermis cells are nice and clear, so the light can get through. Now, why does the light need to get through? Because we want the light to hit these cells. And these cells, I always think, look like soldiers all lined up in a nice, neat row. They've got the cell walls. They've got their cytoplasm and vacuoles. And they've also got lots of organelles called chloroplasts. Now, if you remember, and many of you have, the chloroplasts are the organelles inside the cell where photosynthesis happens. So the light comes in through the top of the leaf, through the clear epidermal cells, and it hits these palisade cells. These cells form part of the palisade mesophyll. Strange word, isn't it? That is like the tissue, so that refers to all the cells together, and the palisade cells are individually there. Now, what's special about these? They are packed with chloroplasts for photosynthesis. Okay, now we've got another layer underneath the palisade cells, and these cells are kind of, they're not quite as organised. They kind of look a bit gappy, and this is the spongy layer, and we call this the spongy layer because it's got gaps in between the cells like a sponge would have. They are plant cells. They have all the features of plant cells. They're cell walls. They have vacuole in the middle. They have a nucleus. They'll have other things like mitochondria stuff, but they'll also have some chloroplasts. Now, why are the cells arranged like this? Why are they all gappy? Well, the fact that there's gaps means that gases can move in and around and get into these cells. Now, underneath here, we have a lower kind of edge. These cells, these ones are a bit like these ones up here. I'm not drawing all of those. And this is the lower epidermis. Now, these cells form like a lower surface, but they also have these specialised cells here. And these have got a different function. So this is the lower epidermis, this layer here. And in that, there are these cells called the guard cells. Now, guard cells are like two cells that can kind of move together and close the gap, or move apart and open the gap. So here, they've moved apart and the gap is open. The gap has a special name. The gap is a stroma, that means one, or if we talk about two or more, stomata. Right, so what do we need to add to this? We need to say why it's good for the spongy layer. So this has gaps to allow gases to move. And if you want to use a nice sciencey word, they diffuse around the cells. The guard cells open and close the stomata. So they are in control of things moving in and out. Now, the last bit of the work I asked you to do was to think about how the carbon dioxide gets to the cells. Now, these are the cells that need the carbon dioxide, because these are the cells that are going to react it with water to make glucose and oxygen. So if I've got carbon dioxide out here, outside of the leaf, this is the top of the leaf and this is the bottom of the leaf, that carbon dioxide, when the guard cells open the stomata, can come in here. It can then move around all these lovely gaps and it can make its way into the palisade cells. At the same time that this is happening, we've actually got another structure in here called the transport tissue. So there'll be another cell that might be around about here, and this can transport the water. So this will be the vein of the leaf. So if we come back here, these little bits here, the vein of the leaf transports water up from the roots via the stem. So water is moving up in through the vein. It's come up through the stem because it came into the plant through the roots. And now the water can also come out and move into the cells, because we know that to photosynthesize we need carbon dioxide plus water. That's going to give us glucose plus oxygen. So this is the reaction that is happening inside the chloroplasts in here. And so when the oxygen is made in here, that can then leave the leaf back out of the stomata. What I'd like to do now is use this diagram to see if you can make any improvements to your diagram or any improvements to your paragraph where you're writing about how the carbon dioxide gets into the leaf and how the water gets into the leaf. Have you got any queries? Please email me. Thank you.